I know what it feels like to not want to feel anything at all. This is the Lucie Beatrix podcast, and on today's show, I'm going to be talking about feelings and hurting and pain and grief and all that good stuff, and mainly how I'm navigating those feelings going through the holidays, since this is Thanksgiving week, depending on when you're tuning into this episode. So I just want to dive right in and explain to you guys some of the stuff that I'm going through. And I want to share this story of the past few days because I feel like it's important to be open and vulnerable and say, hey, I might be Coach Lucie Beatrix telling you guys how to run fast and far, but this is the kind of stuff that I go through. And this is how I'm navigating really, really hard stuff. So about a month ago, my mom really wanted my family and I to come together for Thanksgiving. And this was a big deal because my family doesn't spend Thanksgivings together. We've all been kind of doing our own things the past few years, but particularly since my dad passed away 5 years ago, we did not commit to doing holidays together. It was too painful because he died on Halloween of 2017, and I haven't been home since his funeral. So really, I don't have a memory of being back home where I'm from in that house without him. So that's why I've been very hesitant about ever going back. I never went back since he passed away. I haven't gone back for holidays because those memories I have of holidays back in St. Louis were with my dad. And I almost didn't want to recreate new ones without him. I didn't want to have an idea of a Thanksgiving without him. Gosh, if I'm already crying this soon into the show, it's only 2 minutes in. We're going to have to buckle up. Okay, so do some mental math in my head to get the emotions to kind of stay in check. So anyway, so that's the reason why I never really went home. And so this year was going to be different. This year was going to be the year we finally put all of those feelings aside and committed to showing up, my sisters and I, there for my mom and have a Thanksgiving. But something happened. And as much as I thought I was going to show up, I had my ticket bought and I was ready to get on a plane first thing this morning. Last night, I had a very visceral reaction that I can only describe as PTSD, where everything in my body was seizing up and I just could not get myself on that plane. I couldn't do it. And I just did not go to the airport this morning. So I had to text my mom's new husband, Steve, and my mom, and I just said, hey guys, I'm not coming. And I knew this was going to hurt them. I knew it was going to hurt my mom specifically. Well, I spent the day reflecting, and I think that was actually very important. I went on a run, it was cold, and I thought about everything. And then kind of as this is all being processed and stuff, and this is quite personal for me to share, someone that I have been dating for a year, who I love and will always love, decided to end the relationship today. They looked me in the eyes and told me they're no longer in this and nothing's going to make it work. And, it's done. So it seems like a perfect storm. It's got, I didn't go on this trip to St. Louis because of dealing with my dad's grief. The person that I love broke up with me, and I kind of feel like the most lost and alone I've ever been, to be perfectly honest. But I also have tools this time around. I think I've been through periods like this before in my life, especially in dealing with grief, of struggling through my dad's death and periods of getting sober, but I didn't have the tools. This time around, I have my therapist, who I talk to almost every day. we call, we check in, we have meetings every week. And then my sponsor is the same. I call her every single day and talk to her and give her the updates on how I'm feeling. And between having these like big tragedies, or like having like, not going on my trip, and, sort of skipping my flight, I should say, and then also having like, get dumped, it's kind of a lot. It's a lot at once. And I'm not bringing up the getting dumped part as like a way to get sympathy, because I feel even weird saying it because it doesn't feel totally real yet. I'm sure that it will sink in. I think I've just still kind of like numbed out from like the whole going home for Thanksgiving thing, but I just feel like a lot is going on. That's a lot to think about. A lot of life-changing type stuff. And so, long story short, I think that like the way to navigate stuff like this is just to have your people and call and check in and like have like, friends and stuff. And so after spending kind of a whole day going up and down and up and down and up and down, emotions like just all over the place, I determined that the best thing for me to do is to get on a flight tomorrow morning and go to St. Louis. Like, even though I missed the flight today, I think I needed a day to kind of like feel it out and see like how would I feel if I didn't go at all, and like kind of go through all of these processes and like process, I should say. And now, even though it's going to be really hard, I am going to go get on that plane tomorrow. And there is a reason I stayed an extra day. Maybe it was because it was time for this other relationship to end, and like it needed to happen in person, and like, so maybe it is a good thing, or it happened for a reason, and I stayed this extra day, and like, it's a lot. And so, like I said, I'm sharing all this because I'm just saying that like we all have like a lot of stuff that we have to go through. And for me, relationship stuff aside, grief of losing my dad, the relationship with my mom, like all of these things that I'm trying to get through, I know would not be made better by picking up substance. Like, I know that as somebody who's in recovery for alcoholism, like drinking alcohol on top of all this pain would only make more pain. And that's why I am choosing to stay sober. In about 2 weeks, I will be 9 months back from my relapse. And I'm really, really trying to get back to that 1 year. I'm working the steps. I'm trying to be as like transparent as I possibly can with my sponsor, and actually do the work and be diligent and go to meetings and do all the things you're supposed to do in recovery. And one of those things is taking the opposite action. So like when your body tells you to do something, you do the opposite, which it works a lot of the time, because it's usually something like going to a meeting when I don't want to go. And then I go and I get something out of it. And I'm like, oh, this is why they say do the opposite. So in this instance, for me personally, even though I didn't want to go to St. Louis last night and I was feeling sick to my stomach, and even though I don't want to have to go and face my family and stuff, like I am going to, and I'm going to go do it in the morning. And it just took me an extra day, and it was an extra couple $100 wasted on a flight that I didn't take, but it's okay, because I know now that it is going to mean something, because it's something that I know I'm doing for the right reasons. I'm doing it for my mom. I'm doing it because I don't want to regret not going. And so anyway, that's where I am this lovely Thanksgiving week. And so I'm just saying that, the holidays are not easy. And maybe listening to a little slice of life of my life right now will help you see that you're not alone if you feel the same, and if you're feeling like there's a lot going on. So I hope that helps somebody. Please reach out to me at LucieBeatrix on Instagram. Tell me your stories, because I am going through a lot. I could definitely use a pal, a friend to talk to. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, just be fast. Just win.